Making friends after college, reform school potluck parties, and are single or married people really happier? These are all topics we're discussing for Casual Season 2, so stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
New intro?
Just an unrelated song, but hey, character name in the title.
Yeah, that works. So guys, overall thoughts on the episode before we dive in?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I just love watching Valerie try to make a friend. That was my favorite part of this episode.
I think this was a good example of, Quinn said this last week, how they're the funniest or the best when they're in different people's company. And so there was a lot of that this episode, so I think it was enjoyable. I don't know how much substance was in this episode, but it was an enjoyable episode for me.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. So this is Casual Season 2, Episode 2, and I am your host, Abby Vega. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at _Abby Vega, and we'll start to the immediate left.
Hi, my name is Quinn Scillian. You guys can find me on Twitter at Quinn Scillian.
I'm Zach Kelch, guys, and you can find me at Zach Kelch on Twitter and Instagram.
Hey guys, I'm Renee Ariel, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Renee Ariel.
So guys, week 2, we got to meet some new characters.
2, but episode 3,
Episode
right?
3, yeah. Episode 3, but week 2.
These streaming services just throw me off.
I know.
Confusing.
I know, I feel like a lot of shows lately have been doubling up, even on networks.
And we missed The Bachelorette this week.
I know.
I can't get over it.
And left it, we shouldn't get into
We
that.
won't get into side
different show.
Yeah, we could go on for hours about that. But so, like you said, there wasn't much substance in this show, but we had some different new characters introduced, which was nice. But we discussed that breaking it down by character is probably the easiest and best. So who should we start with?
I think Valerie. She's
is
the focus
biggest.
this episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Valerie seems to really want a friend.
So
And it's
funny.
really sad, but funny and pathetic at the same time. So she dresses up for
Lunch.
for lunch, and you see her. Did you guys know right away when she was all dressed up that she was dressing up for Jennifer?
I wouldn't have noticed.
See, I kind of got that vibe when Laura goes, "You look nice." I go, "Oh man, she's dressing up to go meet her friend."
She had a little more zhuzh than usual, and so it was, clearly aimed towards something. It's just so sad to me that, the way I feel about what Jennifer is doing right now is just hey, I am the new person in this building. It's just the being genuine and kind and trying to make a good first impression.
Yeah, Jennifer's not out looking for a new biff.
No, she's not shopping the way Valerie is buying.
Because she has obviously we see she has what looks to be a pretty sizable group of friends who are there at the wine bar at the end.
Yeah.
So she's she's just like anybody else. It's if someone comes into my life and we jive, whatever, then we're friends. But, she's not in this desperate going through her phone book I don't have anybody to call.
Yeah, and I really like Jennifer though because she is really nice, and even though Valerie's doing these really ridiculous kind of if someone was coming at me hot like that, I'd be a little weirded out.
When she was trying to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
She's
Oh my gosh, that scene was so uncomfortable for me.
excruciating.
Because, I
They
love
played
that
it really well with the stuttering and the pausing and what'd you say?
It
And
was
she's coming in
so
and out of the stall
It's done
door.
really well.
I love that. But I really like the theme of making friends, comparing it to dating, because it is kind of like dating. You find the
Doesn't
friends you like, you
Bumble have a
nitpick.
BFF version
It does,
now?
which
It
I don't
does.
think that should be a
Do
thing
people
at
do
all.
that?
I'm like, oh, I met her on Bumble
losers.
BFF.
Well, I straight up
Bunch of
said-
Valeries out there.
It is Valerie.
Valerie
Valerie's
would be
for
on Bumble
Bumble.
BFF.
But I actually, when I moved out here, I kind of said that. I was like, gosh, making friends is kind of like dating. Except for, I thought it was so weird, so I obviously didn't go about it that way. But it's hard to make friends if you don't have
Yeah,
any.
I read an article, or I think it was Entertainment Weekly. Michaela Watkins. I guess Entertainment Weekly is doing for casual, they have one member of the cast. I think Jason Reitman actually did the first 2. Just kind of go through and just kind of do a little rundown of the episode. And Michaela Watkins for this episode was talking about how everybody just wants what they can't have. have. You know what I mean? You always want what's difficult to get. So that's why Valerie was going so hard after trying to be friends with someone who like isn't showing that much interest. And then that's why like, you know, the group of the co-op parents are going so hard after Valerie because like she just doesn't have that much interest. And you know why I almost called him Tommy, why Alex gets laid at the end with that woman because he wasn't showing her that much interest, you know, saying with, so that's kind of like, that was our theme for the,
That is good.
kind of our theme for the episode.
Yeah, because I didn't really think about that until
I probably wouldn't have picked it up. I mean, I did actually think that, you know, we're saying that like not much happened in this episode. I think a lot happened character-wise in this episode. I think like we had, you know, we didn't move around a whole lot, but in terms of like character arc, I think this was like kind of a little bit of a turning point in some ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So we'll talk first about her lunch. She goes to lunch with her, and Jennifer shows up
late.
Is Valerie always early? Because we had her showing up to that dinner party.
I think it's just her like her being so neurotic and everything. It's just part of her
nervous
character.
And anxious and eager.
I think what for me is what makes the discomfort even more apparent is that they're making Jennifer very mysterious for the viewers. Like we ultimately are still not learning anything about her because everything that we see of her is so fleeting and brief and just her being a nice person.
That's on purpose.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, I'm saying it's on purpose to make Valerie's like aggression with this situation like so much more drastic in our eyes.
And to make Jennifer the kind of person who just like, you know, she's
easy breezy.
Living her life. She's just living her life. Oh, we're gonna go to lunch. Oh, sorry, here I'll pay for you, but I can't stay because I got this thing. You know what I mean? Like she's just like, you know, there's no like. She's so neutral about this whole thing.
Yeah, well, it goes to show like priorities with people. Like Valerie right now, her priority is to make a friend and more specifically have Jennifer be her friend. Whereas Jennifer is just living her life. She met someone new. Oh yeah, we'll get lunch. Not thinking anything of it. Like if she knew that Valerie is kind of obsessing over this right now, I think she would kind of steer clear probably.
But I think, she's about to be like a stage 5 clinger, you know what I mean? Like we got to get
single
out
white
of it.
female.
Yeah, because everything she did, it literally was like she was making Jennifer her potential boyfriend. Yeah. You know, she was getting nervous. She was getting excited.
Well, Alex did. I mean, I feel like it was probably not wise of Alex's part to basically full-blown say, like, it's just like dating, because it's going to put the same pressure then for Valerie into everything.
And I already feel like we crossed so many. I think Alex even threw out a line in this episode that I was, like, really taken aback by when he said, the friend zone is this arbitrary line between a romantic relationship and a friend relationship. And I was like, what do you mean arbitrary line? That line exists.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Like this line between romantic and like platonic in this show is like gray AF.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was like, please don't use that term.
Yeah. It's like,
That's funny. So with Jennifer and Valerie, then we'll just skip to their end scene with
At the
Valerie
wine
real
bar?
quick. Yeah, and then we'll get into her with the co-op parents because that was a whole different story.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I thought it was interesting that she had the nerve to show up where she knew Jennifer was going to be. Does that not seem creepy?
Yeah, Jennifer didn't really totally throw out like a, hey, meet up if you're around.
Yeah, no, she didn't at all. She said, I'm meeting some friends at this new wine bar, and then Alex decides it's the best idea to take Valerie there and make her look cool.
But, I mean, I think her actually going through with it and doing that is creepy as hell, but it ultimately paid off. Because I think Jennifer walked in and genuinely just, like, it wasn't like she was sitting around looking for her alone. She was actually with people and having a time, and like Jennifer happened upon her.
That's exactly what I'm saying. She had a moment when they were sitting there where she was just like, I guess she didn't come. But guess what? She was having a good time with Alex's friends despite of that.
Right.
And so that's, I think, her letting go of that expectation is what brought it to her, is what, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of, and, Jennifer sees her, and it wasn't like this, like she was sitting alone 3 martinis in, you know what I mean? No, she was sitting alone. She was having a good time. And it's like, that energy showed, and it was like, oh sure, I'll join you guys. And it was like this, that's why we were nervous about Valerie being like socially awkward. I don't think Valerie is socially awkward.
really?
I mean, when we, especially when we were sitting there, when she was having the meeting with Laura for the co-op, when they had the first meeting, and they're sitting there, at the very beginning of the episode, and I was nervous that we were going to get this weird kind of cold, holier than thou Valerie that we usually get, where she's kind of, belittling, you know what I mean? And we just didn't get that. She was really charming with those people.
I feel like she can put on a good mom front though when she needs to for Laura. Like I felt like that's what it felt like to me. It was her like I think she does have the ability to sometimes to, at least with Laura, not Alex, but to put someone else above her own needs, so she like can put on the brave face and kind of say what she feels like she needs to
maybe
say.
it's for Laura's sake or whatever. But I was just like, she's on a soccer team, she's doing this, and it wasn't this like cold, like robotic Val that we get sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, I don't know what it is about this character, but I right now just do not like her. I don't know what else to say. There's like, every once in a while, there's a little likable thing that she does that just, Val, like, you feel for her.
Yeah.
But there's just something about her, to me, she still seems to have no remorse over what she did to her brother.
Yeah.
I think she's, at this point, essentially moved on.
Yeah, that's what I think. And to me, we'll talk more when we talk about the character of Alex, but he is just so caring, and I feel like he cares. I feel like everyone gives so much more to her than she gives to them.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
And I think that's
agree.
what's something that makes me not like her as much as a character.
I just wonder if she wasn't a main character, like if we didn't know her backstory and she was just someone that came up every now and again, would you guys still feel the same way? I think I would be like, oh, she's that awkward girl that tries so hard to make friends and date and kind of fails doing so.
But see, then the thing I always think about is this beginning of this show, like season 1, episode 1, the pilot, like, you came in such a turning point of her life. Like, we don't know who Valerie was when she was at her happiest or anything. Like, we don't know who she really is.
I agree.
We don't get what that marriage was. Like, we.
And I think us as viewers are coming into casual thinking that it's a lot like a show that we've seen before. And I actually think it's not. It doesn't follow rules that we know that well. I actually think it's doing some really, really cool stuff in terms of the way that it's introducing us to its world and to its characters. And I think that we should probably stop trying to think of it like we do other sitcoms or other comedies, because I just don't think that's what that show is.
No, yeah, it's completely different than other shows. So I'm thinking, though, maybe, do you think that Jennifer and Valerie are actually going to form this good friendship now, or no?
No, I think
don't
it was just
see
The way
it.
they left it, I couldn't tell.
I mean, because that's the thing. The fact that Jennifer still did actually invite her over and seemed like actually wanting to, I feel like that's a good sign. But
I don't think so. I think it's just being polite. I think it's Jennifer's character. She hasn't overthought this. She hasn't tried to be mean to Valerie because she's just a nice person. So I think if you are at a bar with your friends and you see someone you know, you invite them to sit with you. It's just like normal. I think Valerie, though, is going to read into it as like, oh, well, now she's my friend.
I 100% agree. That's what I'm saying. I think that like next episode she's gonna be clinger like crazy. She's gonna like come over like, hey, hon, I brought you some donuts. You know what I mean? It's gonna be like a whole thing.
Too
And
much.
Like when
and
she
Jennifer's
folded the guy's laundry.
Yeah, that is true. She's very neurotic.
She is.
I hope, though, I think that I want Valerie to get that good friendship, though, throughout the season. I don't whether it's Jennifer or not. It looks like we're not thinking that it's going to be Jennifer, but I hope that maybe she sees it in herself and eventually in the season finds, because like we've said, she needs other relationships besides Alex and Laura.
But she also just can't force it. It
Yeah,
has to
it
be
has to be
something that
natural.
happens like
That's just-
organically, and someone who she thinks is up to snuff intellectually for her as well.
Yeah.
I think with building friendships and relationships, it's kind of something that just has to fall into your lap and feel right. And I think the way we were introduced to Jennifer and their friendship, it's just not going to work out. I think it will not work out in a funny way, but I think eventually Valerie will build a relationship or friendship with someone, but it will be kind of out of nowhere. We won't even see it coming.
Maybe it'll even be one of these crazy people at the co-op. Who knows?
Who gave her
That's
the
what I was
scarf.
thinking. So let's get into that.
Cool.
Those people were cracking me up.
Are you? What did she say? Like, are you a good
Jobber.
person or something like that?
So when she walked into that room, she totally stuck out. And I don't know, those people it was funny how she said, they're all so nice.
I know, the way she said it, so nice and welcoming, and it was disgusting the way she said it. I love it.
So do you guys think that she's going to be able to fit in and try to do those weekly things with her? Maybe that is who she's going to unexpectedly become friends with because she's not trying.
Sure.
I don't know that those. I don't know if those people will become her friends, but I think their lifestyle is going to affect her in a way that will like hopefully let her like let the reins loose a little bit with Laura, and then I think it'll kind of domino effect with her own life, because these people live by such like their own developed book, and Valerie is someone who, being a therapist and all this stuff, is so textbook in many senses of that phrase that I think she needs a little like loosey-goosey aspect to get thrown in.
It's weird we actually haven't seen Valerie do much therapy this season yet. We haven't had
They just
like
they shoot to clips of it.
It was like
little
just that
bit.
one cold open, I think, of the that first episode.
I think it'll be really interesting to see how Valerie develops as a character as she changes as a therapist. Because I definitely think that there's going to be a correlation.
I'd love to see Valerie go to therapy.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
She probably needs it.
Yeah.
So do you think that Valerie is going to change her parenting at all after hanging out with these parents?
You know, maybe she'll try and tighten the reins and then realize that that's just not her and Laura.
It's also like too late. I mean, what do you?
Yeah.
You're gonna drastically change your parenting ways now? I don't. Maybe she'll try, but I don't think it'll ultimately work. Especially with Laura's personality. Let's be real.
I feel like, and I mean, I think she actually said something like this in the first episode, that she's trying to let Laura make her own decisions on this stuff, and I think that, you know, that all of the interactions in that house made it seem like it wasn't going to go well, that they were going to bail and all this stuff. But then that when the girl comes back out to grab Laura at the last second, it clearly was a turn that I think someone kind of seeing through Laura's cold front or whatever, I think really struck her. And so I think we're going to see that she's probably going to put more effort into going back, and I think this will probably actually be a good thing for her that will stick.
It was a really good dose of perspective for her, I think, because I don't, you know, we can talk about this more a little bit later, but I think that when she sat down at the table, she just like wasn't expecting to get hit with the reality that some of these kids have a way worse life than she does.
Why don't we let's just dive into Laura now, because I think, unless something else comes up about Valerie, but I think we touched a lot on Valerie, so I feel like Laura, mainly we just have to talk about her at this party.
Right.
Because I think the other scenes with her weren't very relevant to her character.
Well, I think the meeting that they had.
Oh, the meeting.
When they were asking her kind of like, what do you want out of this? And like, she was pretty talkative for the first half of the meeting, and then when they asked her, what do you really want? She shut down, and that's when Valerie had to step in.
Yeah, I'm excited with this new school and these new friends that she's going to make to see more layers of her, because, like you said, at the very end, she kind of realizes, whoa, these people, she saw through me. She saw that this is just a front I'm putting up, so I'm excited to peel back the layers of her, and because we've only seen kind of one side of Laura.
But I think it's interesting because this season she's much happier, you can just tell. But I think she just has a more excited energy about moving forward into the future. I mean, she said it in a very crass way about getting school over with so she can join the real fucking world or whatever. And I think
But John Mayer says there's no such thing as a real world. You know what I mean?
Yeah. John Mayer's always
Apparently, Laura's never listened to John Mayer.
Apparently
that's
not.
probably a good sign that we should like her more, you know?
I love John Mayer. I follow him on Snapchat. He's funny.
That's hilarious.
But I think that, you know, because she sat down, she heard this kid just came back from rehab. This other kid's parents are very in a fighting place, maybe borderline abusive kind of a thing right now. And it seemed like she was almost rolling her eyes at like being like, oh, people with problems kind of a thing. But then it really just took that one girl to, I think she needs a girlfriend. Like she does.
Like a good one, because from the little that we see of, they didn't even say her name yet, did they?
Oh, I don't know.
I know
didn't write
the
down her
actress
name.
is Dylan Galula, like we said. She's from Kimmy Schmidt as well. But yeah, I think because last season we talked about her friends were just they weren't actually friends.
terrible.
They were more just
didn't have
people to
anything
be
in
around.
common.
They didn't have talks. I can see that this girl is going to be that friend that she's going to actually be able to open up to. Because right now it seems she only really has Alex and her mom to do that with.
Yeah.
And so I
Which is
think
not healthy.
No, it's not at all. So I think that this is going to be a very good thing for Laura.
I agree, and she brought out her vulnerable side pretty quick. I mean, we know that obviously Laura was hurt from the whole teacher situation, but that line when she said what she had done and why she had left school, for the first time I felt emotion behind it, and that she did regret those decisions, and she does finally realize that like that wasn't appropriate. And I think that this friendship will grow from that, because they're actually becoming friends at an honest level that doesn't need any like cover up, because the girl doesn't want her to cover up. She wants her to be just be yourself.
Yeah, and I think actually all three of them need to realize that your actions have repercussions, and you can't just say whatever you want to people. You just can't go around the world being an asshole and expect not to like suck for you at some point.
Yeah,
you
they
know what
all
I mean?
really do have some negative
Right. Well, I mean, and I mean, even this is kind of maybe another transition, but with Alex's thing this week, like him, I mean, granted, get, sure, the conversation of divorce and singledom is a very big thing everyone is always discussing or whatever, but you can't just walk into a married couple's home who is hosting you and being like, so were you happier after you married your wife or before?
Yeah, you can't say that to anyone you don't. Anyone you don't know. It's not an appropriate thing to just.
But I do want to give him like a little. I do want to give them all a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, because as I was saying earlier, like I do think this show just treats things a little differently. Like I maybe think we need to like relinquish our idea of like reality a little bit when that you know, when it comes to those kind of conversations.
Right, and like what I tried to ask Tommy about this when we had him last week, because it's just, I think, you know, if this show was marketed and labeled as like people functioning with mental illness, it would have like a different stigma around it.
That's a little bit like you're the worst,
but
right?
It really, yeah. But like really, that's what this show is. Like I think that's probably why we're more critical or whatever. But we have to realize, like, for sure, Valerie and Alex like have like mental disabilities or
100%.
shortcomings that would be probably diagnosed as something, one or the other, but that's not what this show is aiming to dissect.
I think
so.
Speaking of Alex, I guess we can.
Yeah, let's just dive into Alex.
Again, I don't want to keep bringing up the Entertainment Weekly thing because, like, you know,
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that article.
But I thought Michaela Watkins' point about Alex just being someone who really, really doesn't like change, and he just likes familiarity, and that's why he would prefer to hang out with his sister than go out and find like a new romantic interest and stuff like that. And I think that's really, really, really interesting, especially when it comes to everything that happened with Snooger in this episode.
Yeah, so we'll talk about Snooger first. You know, at the beginning of that
we
episode,
had Pete Campbell literally playing Pete Campbell. If anybody else is a Mad Men fan, like, it was crazy.
I never watched Mad Men.
I mean, it was so funny. I can't remember his name, but yeah, the guy. I mean, like, literally, it was like word for word. They almost like, it's like they asked the actor.
Is
like,
that Vincent Kartheiser?
Yeah.
The guy who plays Jordan.
I don't know his
The
name.
guy in that agency that they talked about. Yeah, Jordan. That's a new character that we're introduced to. And I saw a lot of the actors tweeting about him, so I feel like he's going to be a factor in this season.
It's almost like they asked
and Tommy mentioned him in the interview too as one of the people coming on.
Is he going to be?
But he ends the episode sending the text like, "I'm going to sign the papers." So wouldn't that mean he like Snooger's going to be donezo?
No, I think they're selling the rights to Snooger for them to reinvent it. So I think they're still going to be involved.
Yeah, I don't think. Because they're talking to VCs. They're not talking to people who are going to do. They're investing.
Exactly. What I took from it is that they're reinventing Snooger, because right now that's the problem. It's too successful with matches. So that was kind of Alex's dilemma and why he went about, are you happy married or single? Which,
well, damn, I need Snooger then.
That actually sparked, just in today's society with all the online dating, did that make anyone else think? I never thought about that.
Are you in? Well,
I know, but also I was thinking, like, wouldn't it be the more people that pair off, the better the company does because of word of mouth,
and more people would join?
Yeah, exactly. So I was just thinking, like, you know, the old crop moves out and the new crop moves in. I mean, I guess you're not like.
Well,
I don't know.
I guess the only apps that I'm familiar with are just the like swiping whatever. It's not like setting up a profile of
that's true.
compatibility.
What kind of apps
superficial these days?
What apps are you on?
Private.
I'm on OkCupid. Find me on there. And LinkedIn.
For our introductions, you can find me on OkCupid.
You'll find me.
Farmers Wanted.
That was an interesting thing, though, to bring up, that's why the company, because most people, he's like, this is good. And they're like, no, this is bad for the company because it's about money. And I thought it was interesting, too, seeing, because we never really see Alex caring so much about the company until now when he's about to lose it. So what do you guys think of that? Wanting what you can't have?
You always want what you can't have.
Right. Well, and I mean, I think being in the depressed state that he is, like, something that is familiar to him and something that he has put like so much effort in, like, now that it's getting taken away from him, he's gonna, I mean, it's just gonna be like a classic kind of.
Yeah, and I think he's gonna think for a little bit, because, you know, he had that conversation with his partner about, like, this isn't just about socks, these are about the employees' families and da-da-da. And so, you know, Alex is like, okay, he's having this moment where he's like, okay, I gotta do the right thing. And then he's gonna have a moment where he's like, no, the right thing would be making an app or a website that I'm proud of and that I'm, you know, that I actually that does what I set out for it to do, and that's probably going to happen sometime down the road.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know, because we saw him lose interest. So this whole, I mean, actually through the whole show, he hasn't really been involved. I think you're right about him wanting it now that it's being taken away from him in a sense. I don't see the passion in it with him. I guess you could argue that, oh, well, he was saying that he wants it to be for love, but it's kind of like him just kind of grasping on to the last bit of familiarity
But
that
I mean,
there was.
Then I guess what my problem is, we're in such a moment of transition with him as a character. I'm not actually sure what is better for him.
Oh, I think this episode is very detrimental for him, or very foreboding of what's about to happen, because
think so, too.
Because the very last scene of him
Yes.
signing away, and then he does the one night stand kind of a thing
And
again. It's a slippery slope that
Yeah,
he's
that's
tumbling
why
back
I was going
down.
to say, do you guys think that now he's going to go back down that road that he was on of just like kind of drinking and sleeping with women?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how long he really left that road,
Yeah.
but like I
don't think he's gonna stick with that one. What was her name?
Rosalind?
Rosalind? I don't think he's gonna stick with her. I think that was a
Oh,
one
no,
night stand.
I think she's not. I don't know
Yeah,
if
she's
she'll
out
go
of
to-
there. I think
But
it's just
also,
gonna
she
be...
thinks that obviously that Alex is Laura's dad.
Yeah.
yes.
But
Oh,
no,
yeah.
but he straight
She
up
did say
said
it
in the
last
kitchen, though, my niece starts on Monday. So I don't know why she
maybe-
said that.
maybe
Maybe
it's
neither of them were
language
paying attention to each
Yeah.
other. Maybe that's just like what it's showing is that they didn't really care. And then after they had sex, she was like, "Our kids are going to be such
Yeah.
good
Good
friends."
friends.
Oh, that's where the
Do
title
we
of the
do we
episode came
think that
from.
she's gonna play any more part in this?
That's what I was thinking.
Nah.
I bet we might have an episode where all of a
Is it
sudden
awkward?
Alex has to like maintain this lie that Laura is his daughter or something.
No, I don't see that
No.
much.
That
effort
only
being put
happens when
in.
someo's trying to preserve someone's feelings.
Yeah.
And I don't
Yeah,
think
I
Alex
don't
is trying
think
to
he
preserve
cares.
his feelings.
Another
She was a
thing.
booty call, man.
Yeah.
Did you guys? So Jennifer and Alex met. Did someone?
I said that last
think
week that I was
that-
like, could that be a thing?
Could it
I'm
be
gonna
a
say
thing?
no.
See, because I think Jennifer's really cute, so I was kind of thinking, oh, that'd
She
be
looks
good.
like Cameron Diaz, like a brunette Cameron Diaz.
I feel like Valerie would never let that happen, though.
I don't
As
think
much as
she has
Dewey
no
know,
room to talk.
I know, but right.
True.
Wait, hold on. Back to characters that we want to keep going. I want Scarf Lady to come back because
Wait, I think she'll be in it.
I died when she just like starts stroking her.
it's so
and Valerie
soft.
was like, "What a banana republic!"
And she's like, I like your shirt. Oh, you can have it. And she was so
She
funny. I really liked those
nailed
characters.
it.
Me
because,
too.
like you said, when they're interacting with other people who are totally different from them, that's some of the best scenes that this show has.
funny.
You know what I think is interesting is that Valerie sat down and that one woman was like, "We loved everything we read about you."
Your thing was glowing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when Valerie first got there, Alex was there. I don't know if did they mention Drew during the interview or during the original meeting.
Something with him came up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, because she's like, "Is this Drew?"
Drew.
And I was like, "How does she know?"
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure the paperwork had just maybe had
Sure.
to
Father.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I did. God, this was another thing we talked about when Jennifer says, "Wait until he tries to have sex with you." How we said, like, do we think Valerie and Drew are
Yeah.
going to have
Ding, ding,
sex
ding, ding.
sometime this
I will
season?
take
Yeah.
That is for that team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's for sure gonna happen.
Yeah, I think she's going to. I mean, she's
should we
going
get-
into it like
should we
she-
just
Does
do
anyone have a
predictions?
prediction? Predictions?
Okay,
I mean,
we're
we
gonna
went
do
pretty
predictions.
long.
I think
Yeah.
we've covered everything
Yeah.
else.
Cool.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV.
Predictions.
Do you want to start down there?
Sure. Okay, I agree with you with Valerie sleeping with Drew, the prediction made last week, but I think she's going to go into it where she's like, oh, well, eventually he's going to come around. I'm not going to sleep with him, but she's going to be in a vulnerable place more so than she is now, and then she will. I also think that Laura is going to have a completely different, just a huge character change. I think she's finally going to start learning who she is and be less angry. And lastly, yeah, I think Alex is going to go back into sleeping around, finding a bunch of women to bring home at night.
Good points. Good points. I think my only like real tangible thing is I think Laura will become very close with this new girl, and I think if anything, this season is going to be a much more aggressive downward spiral for Valerie, and particularly with Laura. I think Laura is going to pull away because she might actually have the most like stable friendship she'll have in a while, and I think that will not work well with Valerie.
That's a good one.
Yeah, because she early in the episode she was just like, "Do you have a lot of friends?" And like Valerie was like, "No." Laura goes, "Why don't you? If that makes you feel better." And Valerie was like, "That doesn't make me feel better. I want you to have friends."
But see, she says that, and then she'll
But
get
yeah,
a friend, and I think Valerie will be like,
I can totally
gonna be
see
like
that.
jealous mom friend
Yeah.
thing.
Yep. I guess, yeah, I think that we're going to have a moment where Valerie comes on way too strong to Jennifer, and Jennifer has to go like, "Listen, I think you're really sweet, but you got to chill out." And I really do think that, like, Alex is going to have a moment where he realizes that snooker means more to him than he thinks it does, and he's going to want, he's going to go along with, I'm just going to call him Pete Campbell. He's going to go along with everything that Pete Campbell's talking about, and then I think he's going to want to pull away and go back to what snooker was doing originally.
Yeah, I can see that. Like, now that he doesn't have full
Yeah.
control, he's going to want more, I think. I'm trying to think. I definitely think that the big Alex and Valerie blow-up's going to happen. I think it's going to be, like you said, a downward for Valerie, because I think Alex is finally going to blow up at her. Laura is going to be kind of doing her own thing, and Laura is smart enough to know that her mom was in the wrong, like we said, and her and Alex are really close. So I think Valerie is going to have it a little rough. And I also agree that Laura and the new girl are going to become super close friends.
Cool.
So I'm excited. Well, I think we covered it all. If you guys want to keep the conversation going, you can find all of us at AfterBuzz TV. Make sure to give us a thumbs up on YouTube, rate us, comment below. And I was your host, Abby Vega. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at _Abby Vega. And if you want to keep the conversation going with all of these wonderful people,
You guys can find me on Twitter at Quinn Scillian. You can find me on Instagram at Quinstagram. And you can add me on Snapchat at QuatChat if you like.
God, it's just such a fun trifecta that I have to follow. Zach Kelch. That.
Hey guys, you can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Renee Ariel.
awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to watch Casual on Tuesdays on Hulu.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.